Dawson Rider review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my retro review for the DX Wolkaiser, aka the Centarus Wolf Megazord from Power Rangers Mystic Force. This actually did not get a US release here because, I don't know, I guess they didn't think villain mechs would sell that well. And we were on this weird strict thing of like only 4 Megazord releases per year. Although I still stand by the fact that they could have marketed it with Red's Zord and sold it as Centaurus Phoenix and just had him as a bonus. Boom, you're done. I just did your marketing for you, 2005. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, it comes with the Korragg figure because that's part of the gimmick, is that he transforms with the Megazord. It's actually not that bad of a figure on its own. I was thinking like, oh, we could have even got a Korragg figure if they released that here. But then I remembered we did get a Korragg figure and it was rare for a hot minute. But it's honestly not that bad. I mean, you have this gaping hole in his chest, which looks like a weird plug for like a tube or something. But the details on it are actually pretty solid, because usually when you get these things that they kind of skimp on them because they're like, oh, no one's going to see it anyway. But it's overall just like not that bad, and it's got bits of articulation like in its legs and stuff, mainly because you're able to have him sitting on top of there, so like they needed that to work. Whee, horsey! And then of course also you can have the Phoenix Zord riding on there too if you want to, and stuff like that. And then the arms move as well, which gives you a little bit of movement, and then they can do this just unnaturally because of the transformation. You can't move his head. I mean, you can move it inside because you're going to be able doing that for transformation, but... And then you have the shield here, which is really cool because this really makes me appreciate how it was designed. You'll see in a second when it transforms, which is super cool. But you're able to hold it here traditionally, but then you also have these here for when it transforms. And he did also include a little mini sword, so I really like that. So if you wanted to display it or play with it or whatever as a, like, just Wolkaiser figure, or a Wolzard figure, you could, and I appreciated that. Like, they didn't have to do that because its main function is to transform with this, and I appreciated that they kind of made it its own little figure that came with it, so I thought that was nice. Then you got our buddy Catastros here, who sits here in B's horse. So yeah, he's okay. You know, I always like the black gold color scheme. I think for whatever reason, just as in horsey mode, I prefer the white horse just because I think it looks a little bit cooler. But this is fine for what it is. You know, there's really not a whole lot to say about it. It can't really move that much. Like, you don't have any horse articulation. I mean, no wheels on the feet. That's the signature move for this Zord is decapitation. Usually the signature move for Zords is like, well, this doesn't do much, but at least it can roll, so that's fun, right, guys? And you can see here, this is going to be the head. If you couldn't tell already by my mentioning it or just knowing it, this can combine with the individual Phoenix Zord. You can either use the one that came with the Phoenix Unizord or the Centaurus, whatever they called it here, for the toy. And then you could also use the one that came with Magic King. So you can use either or, and I'll show that off near the end of the video. So for the first mode, it's actually really, really simple. All you're going to do is you're going to remove the horse head like it just tried to do on its own, and you can sort of already get this ready and take this bit off and make this a little mini sword for him, or a jousting tool. What do you call them? What were those called? What are these, like the jousting ones? What are those called? Were they also called javelins? Maybe? I don't know. I didn't sign up for medieval history. All of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, I'm sweating. Like, I'm supposed to teach a medieval class? I didn't even know. So you just open these up to give Korragg the world's most giant pair of pants, and these little plugs will line up here on the back. I'm going to kick it old school in this one and not do my cutaway transformation montage and just kind of talk over it like an idiot. But then you have this, and he can ride there like that. Again, you can also do it with Phoenix if you want, so that's cool. And yeah, I mean, that's super simple. There's really not a whole lot to that, but I dig it and I like that option, and I always thought it was neat in the show. And it like leads into the core Zord transformation nicely. Speaking of which, we're going to be taking this out, and this is going to flow together for the weapon when we're not having it in the Centaurus Phoenix mode, which we'll be doing later, but we can set that aside for now. So where should we start with this? Okay, let's do this. You can pull the legs in. Let's do this. Legs in like that. I want to start here with these because it gets them out of the way and you don't have to finagle around it. Fold these down around like this. They kind of become feet. It's super simple. It slides in really nicely, which is neat, and it kind of has this weird like pivot angle here, but it's kind of nice because usually those fold up, and these kind of fold up and at an angle, which is kind of interesting. Just kind of an interesting way of doing it, but it works pretty well. It doesn't feel that flimsy or anything. All right, now we can move these guys up. So and get them out of the way, and then you're going to rotate it around and fold this down. It's really awkward when you have to get these together because you have to like loop this around this bit, which is kind of awkward, but just be careful not to break it with that part because it can kind of be a little bit difficult. So this part's almost ready. The only thing we have to do now is fold this guy around here, and we'll take this out of his hand. Let go, Korragg. Korragg, Korragg, don't be a child. Such babies. Okay, so then you're going to want to put it in here because he's going to be holding it on both sides. And then snap this in, and then you'll have him hold it here once you fold this way. Come on, couple I'd said. That's what I was talking about by appreciating the shield design. Like, I love that his like shoulder wolves go over the design like this, and I think that's really cool. And then you just take this bit here and you're gonna store his head away. Kind of reminds me of the classic like Shogun Zords and stuff, which I really appreciate. And then we're going to pan the camera up. That step is not for you. I mean, if you're using a camera when transformation, then sure. And then snap that in. Take your leftover horse head and snap it on top. And there you have the Centarus Wolf Megazord, aka Winnie the Bish, aka Brown Lightning. No, but you have here the Wolkaiser. That's the the Japanese name. And to be honest, this has always been one of my favorite mecha. Almost forgot to switch around its clown feet. You gotta have the clown feet on so you look more majestic. So there we go, almost forgot about that. But yeah, this has always been one of my favorite mecha designs. I mean, I think it just looks cool, period. And I love the idea of us having a villain mecha. Like, that's pretty rare outside of one where they're like, oh, we have our own Megazord, but it's just like an evil robot. But this one clearly being based off of their designs and then ends up working with their designs, and I think that was really unique. It really works well with all the different colors with the purple and stuff. I'm kind of a sucker recently, or realized recently that I'm kind of a sucker for like purple-based toku-suits. I mean, this is only purple in the middle, but you know what I mean. But I think it's a really awesome looking design, and I've always appreciated it. And then like the cool factor was kind of upped because it wasn't available here, so it made it more desirable in some way. So I was like really excited to get it, so that made it like all the cooler to me, which I think is super neat. And I love the way it works. Like, not that I'm saying that all the more modern mecha designs are that bad or anything, but I feel like this was just a really nice and clever one where the transformation stuff works together. Like, I love the way these fit together and stuff. And then you'll see in a second when I show it off, I love the way Centaurus Phoenix also works really well. Like, they both look like they could have been the primary plan, and they both work well as a transformation where they feel satisfying and clever, but they also look nice design-wise, rather than, I feel a lot of some of the recent ones are more about like, can we fit this together? Yes, but it doesn't look that good, but at least we fit it together, if that makes any sense. But yeah, this is a really cool design. It's such a shame we didn't get it here in the States. And now I'm going to take a quick look at showing what the Phoenix one can do and another cool bit involved with that. Here you have the Centaurus Phoenix, aka Fire Kaiser, so using Red's main mecha with it. And then you can also swap out Korragg with over here with the Phoenix Unizord. I think they called it Phoenix Unizord here, but they called it something different in the toy box name before it came out. But I think that's super cool. I mean, in general, I think this looks just as good as the main Wolkaiser. I mean, I'm not sure which one I like better, but see what I mean by it just kind of working, like it doesn't feel forced or like, yeah, it doesn't look that good, but it fits together. Like, this feels like this could have been the main mecha. And again, I think they could have marketed it like this here and been like, buy the Red Ranger's Megazord, villains are gross, but then include this anyway so that you have that. So I don't know, maybe it was because of the 4 mecha rule and they figured they'd just do this instead. I'm really appreciative that they included this. I don't think it flows as well together, but I still think it actually looks pretty solid. It looks like if he came back as like Gandalf the White, but with Wolkaiser. Never been too huge on the mask. But I think in general, like I said, I don't think it flows as good as this one or regular Wolkaiser, but I still think it flows together pretty well and looks pretty cool. Like, I love the way the purple and silver contrast to the white and gold. I think that's really neat. And like, they didn't have to do that. I felt like they knew people were gonna try it, so they included it. Like, they very easily could have left this blank or done like the same helmet or something, but they actually decided, you know what, let's make it a little bit unique, make it a little bit fun. So I think that's super cool. I really like that. Also, I purposely left the weapons out just for space, so in case you were wondering about that. But overall, this is a really cool mecha. If you're a Mystic Force or Magiranger fan, I definitely recommend checking it out, especially for those in the US that know we never got it, because it does work with the US mech since we use the same mold, and I think if you're a fan, it's worth checking out. It was one of my first mecha I actually ever imported, so it was super exciting, and I think it was worth it. Then it was just really neat because we didn't get it here, so it was all the more exciting. Still a shame we didn't, and if you happen to have some of this stuff, you get some nice customization options, which is another cool benefit. benefit. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.